So we're talking about the quiz that we took on Friday. We are going to correct it. You have two choices. You may either work from the paper that you have and correct your answers, redo your work on your own paper, or you could get a new piece of paper and start over. So the first problem we had was 3/4 times 4/5. So we could have solved this very simply by doing 3 times 4 to get 12, 4 times 5 to get 20. Now if I were to simplify this, I'm looking for the largest number that can go into both. That would be 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 20 divided by 4 is 5. There you have your final answer. So if I wanted to do this in a different way, which some of you did them like this, so I would have split this into 4 sections. 1, 2, 3. I would have shown 3/4. This side could have done times 4/5. So I have to split this up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's my first one, second one, third one, fourth one. Now how many pieces when I took 4/5 of 3/4 are double shaded? So even though I used one color, I could see the ones that are shaded in 2 different directions. How many pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 pieces. How many total? 5, 10, 15, 20. So let's say I didn't know that 4 goes into both of them. Let's say I only noticed that it was divisible by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 20 divided by 2 is 10. That is not in simplest form. So I could divide it by 2 again. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay, let's talk about the second one. I'm going to make my rectangle. Here's my problem. 3 holes, 1/5, 2 holes, 2/3. Let's multiply. 2 times 3, and I got 6. 2 times 1/5. What's the denominator of any whole number? It's always 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 5 is 5. This time, I'm going to do 3 times 2/3. What's the denominator of any whole number? 1. And I get 6/3. Okay, let's look at this one. 2/3 times 1/5, and I get 2/15. Step 1 was do all my multiplying. Let's work on adding. 6 holes. 2/5 is the simplest way for me to write it. There's no other way that I can write that fraction that is more simplified. 6/3 improper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 go in a group. The answer is 2 holes. 2/15 is as simple as it can get. Okay, so I'm going to multiply by 15, multiply by 15, multiply by 5, multiply by 5. 2 times 5 is 30. 15 is 30. 15 times 5, I'm not sure. Let's do it. 15, 50. So all I did was wrote 15 down 5 times. Now I'm going to add them. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my answer is 70. My denominator is 75. 2 times 5 is 10. 15 divided by 5 is 75. So let's add. 6 plus 2 is 8. 30 plus 10 is 40. what number can go into both 40 and 75? They end in 5 or 0, so I know that 5 can go into both of them. 40 divided by 5 is 8. I can easily do this problem because look, here's the opposite problem in multiplication. So 75 divided by 5 is going to be 15. So here's my answer, 8 and 8/15. Okay, the third problem. I had a half times 2/7. Again, all I had to do, 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 7, 14. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 14 divided by 2 is 7. My answer was 1/7. So when you multiply proper fractions, it really does not need to be difficult. We just multiply our numerators. We just multiply our denominators. And remember to simplify. Okay, we're going to talk about our fourth one. Rectangle sections again. 1 1/4, 2 2/3. 1 1/4, 2 2/3. All right, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 1/4. What's the denominator of any whole number? 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 4 is 4. Let's come down here. 1 times 2/3. Denominator of 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. Let's come down here to this one. Let's do 2/3 times 1/4. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 4 is 12. All right, so I multiplied on my numbers. Now let's add them. 2 wholes. 2/4. There is a better way for me to write that, but I'm going to leave it how it is. 2/3. It's a good way for me to write it. 2/12. Let's write it. None of these fractions are improper, so I didn't have to find wholes. So remember, the third fraction, I always cover it up because 3 times 4 is going to give me 12, and it's going to work out well. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to do times 3, times 3, times 4, times 4. Because I know my denominator is going to be 12, so it's going to work out well. Because remember, I want all 3 of these to be the same, and so it's going to work out that these will be 12. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. So 6 plus 8 plus 2. Well, 2 plus 8 is 10. 10 more, 6 more is 16. And I have 2 wholes. Improper fraction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. How many get circled? 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So how many does that equal? 1 with how many left over? 4. What's my denominator? 12. But I have this 2 to add on, so I get 3 and 4/12. 4/12 can be simplified. 4 can go into both of those numbers. So my final answer should be 3 and 1/3. So when you finish, there are going to be 2 problems that are sitting up at the front table or on the front board for you to work on if you finish before my group is ready.